Okay, hello everybody. For those of you who don't know, I've been quite interested in using speedruns as a way of getting some activity in the community, and a recent idea that was suggested to me by a DU forums user by the name, I believe, I'm doing this from memory, so please correct me if I'm wrong, Dirk, D-U-R-K-E, I think, might be wrong. Anyway, the idea was basically, okay, we've done the monument speedrun, and Predators pretty much optimized it to within like a couple of seconds. So the question is, what other speedruns do we do? And this user suggested, how about doing heart flag speedruns? And today, basically, this isn't like a video presenting a route, this isn't a script, well, not that any of my videos are particularly scripted, this is more just a gameplay, almost a gameplay video, but where my aim basically today is just to go through, find some nice routes. And to sort of, begin to discuss where to go, because there are pros and cons. Okay, great, now we've got to wait for this for a while. So, whilst we're waiting for this, let's just talk about where the flags are. So, basically, in this video, I'm just going to sprint through Adventure Explorer pretty quickly. Maybe that would be an interesting speedrun. I don't know how interesting, though. Maybe like 100% world speedruns would be a thing, but they're just slow and not as you don't really get down to the nitty-gritty of optimizing as much, I personally feel anyway. Maybe people find them fun, I don't know. It's also not really something we can do without a complete world though, so that's a downside to it. Oh, hello. This is faster than it sometimes is. Complete with audio cutting in and out. Okay, so my plan to discuss what all the flags were. That didn't go to plan too well. Okay, so I'm pretty much just going to sprint through this. I don't have much interesting to say, but it's actually, I have a couple of things to say, because I just declined it. That's okay. Yeah. Given you don't actually need your mouse to do anything other than moving the camera, and at one point clicking the mission tracker for Skylane, it makes sense to pretty much just keep your mouse in this one position. If we are getting down to like insane time saves, then technically I'm pretty sick. Thank you, Ian McKellen. Yeah, so again, technically, if you're doing a perfect speedrun, you probably don't want to respond to those, and you probably just want to live with them being on the screen. So, thank you, I can't really smash anything right here. So, potentially coming up with decent ways to jump this gap. So you can jump it like that. Yeah. This would be a minor time save. Anyway. It's because you can't jump it directly from the ground. Getting a good way of jumping up these stairs would be, a lifesaver. I don't know if it's, I haven't specifically looked at it. Again, this isn't stuff I've looked at yet. We've got to go ship, blah blah blah. This, if we were speedrunning this, and at some point I sort of hope people maybe do maybe do a speedrun of this. Tacked onto the front of a heart flag speedrun. So maybe, because you could do, in a reasonably short period, you could do all the heart flags in, well no. Oh yeah, okay, all the heart flags in VE and AG. The only thing is there are only heart flags in AG. These basically, the only thing you want to be careful of is not clipping the platform as it moves up and down. I suspect it's also probably faster to take the outer two first there and then deal with the inner one. That's trigonometry as to what would be the fastest route. And again, it's negligible, especially considering the fact that this isn't a speedrun challenge at the moment for this section. Another question would be, when do you get the quick builds? when do you smash the things? Because I actually think it might be more worthwhile to smash them at this stage, because at some point because basically that means you don't need to build the quick build twice. And oh no, did that just fell off? Okay, there's no way I can get that without dying, so I'm just waiting for this. I mean, yeah, I'm not properly speedrunning it, but at the moment, but okay, and look at these mad gamer skills. I just jumped over the edge. There's no way of managing to jump onto here from anywhere else. I have tried, because I was looking at seeing how far you could play without touching the ground, and it would have been quite nice to have done this without touching the ground, but there's the mission tracker. The only problem with doing some of these things is certain parts of this could be quite lag dependent. That's a speedrun. I should have already completed this mission because I just got all the parts. Yeah. Fortunate. So anything mission based could be quite dependent on server lag. However, lots of other things like flags, like hot flags, etc. As long as the server eventually, we will pretend this never happened. I agree. I seem to be outside the build area. Houston, we have a problem. Let's take that off then. Okay. Where are we? We're directly underneath spawn. Okay, so I've had this happen in the past where occasionally I get kicked back to spawn. Now I find it quite interesting I haven't died. I wonder if that indicates the server's lagging, or simply that I haven't sort of made the collision in the same way the server expects me to. Because if I've just been teleported down to this level, yeah, it doesn't want to do this. Okay, well this was not something I expected to happen right to me. Okay, so it's not server lag. The server just maybe has a plane where when you go through it, it smashes you. And I never went through that plane because I somehow managed to get teleported down there. That's cool. Let's hope this doesn't happen a second time in a row. I still think it's time to clicking. Oh, no, it's that underneath my character. I suspect it still thinks I'm carrying something, which is interesting. I don't get the dulcet tones of Ian McKellen this time, telling him what to do. Ian McKellen, I'm not certain. Professor X. And Macbeth. And most things probably at some point or another. Come on, don't teleport me back to the start again. Okay, at this stage, I don't think there's anything I can do other than create a new character. It's the second time this has happened, though. I don't know if anyone else has really reported this. How nasty are you? Oh, and of course... Oh no, okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, bye. And let's enter a password. Okay, well, let's try this again. I'm not going to spend as much time talking this time. I'm just going to run through it, because I've only got a limited amount of time to actually do this. Okay. Yeah, I've got a limited amount of time to do this today because I've got something happening at 3 in a place where I don't know where that place is. Anyway, so whilst waiting for this again, talking about the flags. So particularly the most interesting area for discussing speedrun optimization is the monument. So there are 10 heart flags throughout Back Gardens. One of them just is right at the back of the landing pad. One of them is on top of these smashed robot parts in the outside the front of the Paradox research station, just past Wispley. One of them, as you continue along, it's in the sort of broken down building to your left. One of them is in the spider cave. There should be one more. Don't remember where that one more is. I'll know it when I see it, but I don't remember where it is off the top of my head. Yeah, there's, unless I've miscounted. Anyway, and then there are 5 on the monuments, and the monument ones are the ones that's really interesting to optimise, and that's going to be the main optimisation challenge. Like, there's not much interesting going on with the other flags in AG. Wait a second. I don't think there are actually any flags. Oh, this changes things. So I'd been assuming you'd have to get down to the landing area, but I don't think there are any flags there. Which means you... So there's one particularly interesting section, which is the fact that there's a flag you could only get by making the jump off the road by the side of the monument. It's the road which was the actually finishing place for our normal for the end of our normal monument run. And sorry, it's really interesting to talk whilst good old Professor X is in my ear telling me to double jump. Yeah, it makes it slightly harder to concentrate. Yeah, okay, so it's this. Yeah, you've got to randomly jump off this road, and the problem with that is, well, you've just jumped off the road. You then have to climb the monument all over again if you want to get that flag and get past it. Now, one of my questions, optimization wise, is do you want... It takes what? It can take a good player like under 30 seconds to speedrun the monument, so you could jump down and get up again in under 30 seconds versus the time it would have taken you to get up, go down to the other landing area from the place you get to Nexus Tower from. Not Nexus Tower, Nimbus Station. I mean, you do indirectly get to Nexus Tower from there. But if there are no heart flags in that area, there's actually no incentive to ever leave the monument until you need to get that very last heart flag. But yeah, there are other questions. In order to get all the heart flags, you need to climb. You need to climb over all the monument, and enough of the monument that you've got to use bouncers, etc. And if you have to use bouncers, etc., then that means currently I've been talking with Winston about this. I think it's doable on Ichu, which is good. Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal because Ichu is quite hard to set up, but you know, it's definitely not like Wallace just run an executable easy. But fortunately, Winston has said he's like willing to help people out with that, which is nice of him. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so the fact that that this speedrun is only going to be doable on servers that are more complete, that are at the level of Ichu or more complete, means that effectively, yeah, God, I haven't multitasked this much very often. Okay, don't kick me out this time. Good, cool. Can handle that. Means that there's no reason to have the rules I put in place in the other speedrun about not using any bouncers, moving platforms, etc., or not break any breakables. You know, I can still move at this point. I haven't worked out like precisely how to move, and I don't know if that's was a mechanic in the original, and thus would be a fine mechanic to use in this speedrun, but that's a thing. I can move then. Yeah, so yes, since you can use platforms, etc., and you need to traverse a lot more of the monument than you actually do for the monument speedrun, suddenly there is an optimization problem of, is it worth parkouring around, or is it worth just sitting down and making a quick build? And if it's worth sitting down and making the quick build, then you've got the question of, okay, do you need to start looking at imagination? And similar problems you'll see as I go through this on here, that I may, I don't know, get hit by enemies. If you're doing this speedrun in something like LCDI or DLU that has enemies spawning and attacking, that's another quite important question. Do you do you try and smash, like, for instance, one of the crates in the spider cave? And that's a bit of a problem for this speedrun, because it is heavily dependent on which server you choose to use when you play it. So maybe there'd have to be something about in the rules stating you need to use this particular server, or different speedrun leaderboards for different servers, because it is harder on some than others. Okay, so where are the flags? So first off, there's the one directly behind me. There's the one you can see right there. I don't know if you can actually see my cursor, but it's behind Wisply. Okay. Begin. Okay, other things to note is speedruns in general, you run slower backwards. So it's always, pretty much always better to just turn around. Yeah, okay, so my initial, so initially I have my, okay, this glitch occasionally happens, but I don't need to worry about it since I don't care about completing any of the missions. Yeah, so my first speedrun attempt I ran, actually let's just look at this. So my first speedrun attempt, I started off there. You can basically parkour behind, I just pointed at the screen with my finger, that's not helpful. You can parkour sort of behind and along all those rocks, I mean it's minimally useful, which basically just taking out bottom use. Then you get to there, and you can come back here, and from getting this flag that I just got, did I? Yeah. This, you can go along there. However, I'm almost 100% certain it's more efficient to come here, go there, and continue on, because it involves no backtracking. Like, it's not a rule that backtracking always takes longer than not backtracking. Like, there are lots of scenarios where you could come up with routes which do, but I think in this instance it's a simple enough situation that yeah, it's not worth backtracking. Yeah, okay, you can just run that. But yeah, this is certainly in something like DLU where the enemies have AI. This could become quite a problem. This section, because you could get swarmed by enemies, which would mean you'd want to spend a lot more of your time jump attacking, single jump attacking, not double jump attacking, because single jump attacking preserves your momentum. Who goes there? Have you talked to Wisp yet? No, because it technically still thinks I'm in. Okay, so I don't think, no, there's no flag over there. Yeah, so the game technically still thinks I'm in Adventure Explorer, because...
You can rotate to get...
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Because there's technically... It doesn't register when you leave, there's technically a trigger when you land in Avant Gardens, and we obviously haven't triggered that yet. Yes, there's some stuff here about precisely where you want to single double jump. That's where the other flag was. This was the flag I'd forgotten. Okay, so coming through here. Again, in a server with moving enemies, this would be, I think he gets one hit off on me here. No, he doesn't? Okay. Yeah, in a server with moving enemies, this would be a lot harder. Again, Spider Cave up ahead. I know, in theory I know, where the spiders should be. There's one spider on my way to this flag. I know where it should be spawning. We've got the problem in LCDRU of them spawning beneath the floor, because it technically requires movement AI, or it requires something to trigger their AI to get them to spawn on the ground, and that is actually something that's just a weird quirk of the way the game was programmed. Okay, there's one spider right there, so as long as I stick to the path, and stick to the left of the path, I believe I'm fine. I'm triggering that guy, who will one-hit kill me at this stage. Maybe not one-hit kill, but if I get jumped by it, and sort of don't know the direction it's going to be coming from, then it probably would be a one-hit kill. Okay, up here. Whee! Okay, yeah, I could have just done a single jump to cut off that section. Come on, please don't kill me. This is genuinely... I sort of quite like the spider cave like this, because there is something quite tense about running through and the spiders may just jump out on you at any time. Quite like that. Okay, so yeah, this section is pretty much, you can't optimise it, and getting the flags, pretty much up to this point, getting the flags in any different order than the like sort of more obvious one, it's not worth it. Here one thing to note is that in order to miss out some of the enemies, and which again isn't too much of a problem in here, but in a more complete server it might be. You can double jump up there, and that just gets you a little bit further along. And if you're being really edgy, that's like so much. It's so negligible, but that is slightly faster. Anyway, how many flags are we on at the moment? We've gotten all of the ones around here. I think we should be on 5, if I'm right. Let's come on. Need the bus to, not the bus, the ambulance to move. Okay, it's not going to. Worlds. Scroll down, flags. Sorry, I'm trying to move and check this at the same time. It's here somewhere. I definitely need to see this to get past this next, but yeah, 5 so far, cool. Okay, here we are. So, you know, we can't use this yet, and it takes quite a few missions before we can. However, you may or may not know, there's a trick which I will be the first to admit I haven't yet perfected. Here we are, come on, no. So basically you can get past this. I managed to do it first try this morning. I was really pleased with myself, and now I'm definitely not doing it first try. There we are. Basically, it's sort of quite hard to show because of the way your camera moves, but you jump in there and you want to basically, you jump in there. You can't stand still there, I don't think. I'm pretty certain it just pushes you out. But as long as you're jumping, you're fine, and you can then jump from in that sort of corner there, because there's a solid. This post and this post have sort of a solid physics, but invisible, but existent physics block there. So you can sort of jump in there, jump onto pretty much this stone here, and then jump up here. So yeah, all of this is just to cut out needing to complete any missions, because in general, in order to complete the mission that would get you that far in the quest chain, you'd need to have done you'd need to do a load of work that would be more time consuming than just using that glitch. Here technically you can jump on those. I have done it, but why would you when you have this? Don't think it's possible to go over the top there, because I was doing some parkour testing around there in the past. Okay, and here's where things get really interesting. I'm actually not going to get any of the flags if I can avoid it in any way this time. So, we've got our one flag up here. That, given that there aren't any flags in the landing zone over here, that needs to be the last flag we get. Just logically. Okay, so in terms of planning out the rest of the route, there are flags up the top of this guy. There's the imagination break in his left hand. There's a single flag along his right arm. There is, if we go along the back on the, well, I'll just show you. I'm almost 100% not going to be able to pull this move off whilst running OBS in the background. Oh, I did though. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna. This is, to clarify, not a speedrun attempt at all. I'm just trying to get around so we can discuss. We can discuss when we're going to do things. You can move. I will take that as a no. I think so. Triggers like that are based on physics-based triggers, which are primarily client-side, which explains why stuff's going weird with this as well, because my computer gets basically insanely laggy when I run OBS. Okay, so given that we need to get that to work. And speaking of physics triggers getting laggy, come on. Oh, or the server might just have gone down. This may be perhaps the least successful video I think I've ever done. Let's see, probably I can't stand there either. Okay, so given that we've got that path blocked off, the only way of getting into the monument at all is this. I don't know why I'm pressing ahead. This is really not the best way of going about it. There is a restart server command which I can use, but I think that's basically going to relog. I think that might restart the entire thing, and I don't overly want to have to go over this again. I think I need this to move up there. Like, I can try the moving platform, but if that's going to be glitching, I don't know, it's worthwhile. Okay, that isn't getting triggered. That's just going to disappear if I stay on it. Going down there, I'm pretty certain, so there's a drop off there, and I'm pretty certain I can't make that drop from here. Maybe I can. No, I definitely can't. Good to know these things. Okay, so my last option is a little bit of parkour skills coming up the side here, because basically now I'm limited by anything that doesn't require any physics triggers on my side of this the game. There we are. Right. So I think bounces etc. should still work. Okay. So we need to get to the top somehow. Okay, so we've got this imagination brick. We've got. I do still need to get up there somehow. Yeah. Okay. So I might as well build this. Come on. Yeah, so the question is, do we like start by speed running up our way up to the very top and then work back down and get these things? The only issue with that, of course, is that then once we've worked back down, we still need to climb all the way up to the top again to get to the flag over there. Okay, so let's just. I sort of want to do this almost like a graph theory type way. I'm pretty certain we. Okay, so it is possible. Oh, it's actually more annoying. Okay, so we can get that flag. So once we're up on top of Bob, we can get that flag. We need to fall in order to get the imagination brick. There's nothing we can do about that. But it is, I'm pretty certain, possible to get from the imagination brick to technically land on. Well, it is possible to land on there. Definitely not easy. But it's also, I think. I don't know how the angles will let you do it, but you may be able to get from here to there. Either way, I don't think the odds of you doing that are very high. I don't think. It's definitely possible to go from there and land on there if you can get lined up correctly. But I think in general, excluding you sort of you leaving the imagination brick there and just doing a jump to here, which is always possible. I think you can. This of course won't work. I bet, will it? Yeah, let's just see. Yep. Okay. Might as well use it for height if nothing else. There we go. Okay, so because that's pretty much disconnected from everything else, that means we almost need to use that bouncer over there to get up to there. Because in order to get up to here, you need to. That's going to be enough of a problem for this, isn't it? And there's only one way of getting up here, I'm pretty certain, which is by this elevator. If you don't have this elevator, you can't get up there, and that elevator takes a lot of time, meaning that I'm pretty certain it's more worth. I mean, basically, it's not going to be worth you taking the elevator up there, jumping from there onto there, and then doing it all over again to get the imagination brick, which means it's going to be worth just going up there in the first place. Okay, we've then got the two flags around here. So one flag, it's quite nice. You get it pretty much. You can get it quite nicely just after you land that one. After you land from the imagination brick, you'll land on this ledge here, which then lets you jump up to here. About 90% certain you can't make that jump up onto there. If you could then jump there, and then I'm pretty certain you can get there, but I don't think you can manage that. There's then the other imagination brick in here. So if we assume, so just sort of plotting out a route, or plotting out parts of the route, we know that we need to go up to the top of this guy, get the flag on his arm, get the imagination brick here. We then drop down, so we're going here anyway. There's no point getting this any earlier. if we're going here anyway, we're already pretty much in the vicinity of this, of the flag in there. We should just jump up here and jump up to there. I'm going to do it, but I'm genuinely so afraid of lag at the moment. And doing something exactly like that. That's why I wasn't going to do that. And we can't turn the fan off. Can we get off? Can we get over the edge? Here, I'm just going to get pushed down, aren't I? But the flags, thing's not going to tell. Okay, so in general, I should like say in the defense LCDIU, this glitch pretty much seems to only happen to me. Okay, can I? Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, the things that are already spawned, their physics is still active, but it's just things that require triggering that seem to be having problems at the moment. Anyway, so we've got the flag on the platform there. Let's just count the number of flags we've got, because I think we might nearly be at this. It really helps to be able to put it. So we've got the flag on his arm, we've got the flag here, we've got the flag up in there. We know we need to get the flag. We need to get to the platform up there, pretty much separately from anything else, because you definitely can get to this platform without using oh no, I don't want to get that because I still want that to be there. You can definitely get up to that platform by parkour without using anything. I just can't remember how you do it. I suspect you probably just run along that guy's... Again, I'm pointing at the screen with my hands. I suspect you just run it up there and then double jump to this platform. I'm pretty certain you don't do it by running up this side of this. I'll just have to get it. I can destroy your character at some point. Pretty certain you can't. Yeah, you can't make this. Yeah, okay. So, get the imagination brick. Lands here. Run up this. Okay, so I'm pretty certain we've accounted for all of the flags now. Okay, so yeah, then we've got the one flag in there. Which, since we're now getting the flags, I might as well get. Here we are. Something of a debate inside my head there is: do you smash that by landing? Because you need to double jump to get up here. Do you wait until you land, then smash that with a punch, or do you basically ground pound it? Okay. So once we've reached the top of Bob, or the unnamed minifigure, because I think technically, although everyone's sort of like, yeah, it's basically Bob, I don't know if it actually officially is. I seem to remember if there's a description somewhere that says refers to it as the lone hero, and you'd think, given that Bob's something of a mascot, they would refer to him as Bob if it canonically were him. I know I've seen fanfics in which it is Bob, but I don't think it's ever canonically the case. Okay, here's another thing. You can stand on this. You can also do some sort of clever running jump off of here, land on that, you can make it there. You can do a running jump off here, land on there, jump down there, land on that. I think we can pretty much roll the parkour here, there, out as a route. So the question is now between running off of here and making that jump and running off of there. The reason I think it's probably better to run off of here is if you run off of here, sure, this might make you go faster, but it also takes you over to Vector, I think his name is. Whereas if you run off of here, you can land about there, and you're much closer to the flag. So I think that bit's worthwhile. Sorry, to clarify, this entire video is just me. Oh, I was crashed. This entire video is just me working out what I think, like I haven't planned out this route in advance. Okay, yeah. So we need to finish by running along here, going down there. So if we end up getting the imagination brick, we assume we don't make that insanely difficult sort of imagination brick onto their landing. That thing's hard enough to land on when you're like not doing it, having to go through a hand and get an imagination brick at the same time. So I don't think that's worth including in the run. If someone like Prev can manage it, full props to you, like congratulations. But I don't. I think that's probably too hard to include in the standard speedrun. Speedrun route anyway. So we get up to here, make the running jump onto there. Once we're on the top of this guy, we know what we're doing, and we know the only way of getting onto the top of him, pretty certain. I feel like I'm going to get corrected on this because this seems like something I'd muck up. Is getting is coming from the bottom of this. Maybe it's possible just about to it's definitely possible to run up along there. Maybe it's possible to, no, it's not possible to jump there because you'd hit his arm. Yeah, there's no way. I have to say I'm going to get corrected on this. I'm pretty certain you need to go up there. If you need to go up the, so we've basically got to, it's basically a joining the dots exercise at this stage. Oh, and I should clarify, there is one other option, which is that we end up back down here, run up along this ledge and sort of end it in standard speedrun fashion, which isn't too bad an option. Like, I think it takes about 15 seconds from being down there to getting there if you're standard the standard speedrun route, and then it's not too much longer to get there, given that this trick also gets you to pretty much the same point. So it's a question of what level do we happen to finish on. If we've just finished by getting the imagination brick, then we're gonna the other thing is technically we don't have to do the imagination brick section last. So yeah, at this stage we've got these sort of small segments: the get the flag, get the brick, fall down, get the flag, and then get this flag here. We've got that is one fixed segment. One fixed segment is we need to get to there somehow, and there are the two possible methods depending on which height we're at, both of which will have roughly the same time. I suspect the higher one will be slightly shorter, but you'd need to get this high up. I don't know how worthwhile that is time-wise. And then there's this oddball flag on here, which we need to get somehow. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to remember how I do this now, because there is definitely a way of getting out there. I think it probably is just like run along. Yeah, run along here, get to this spot. I really hope you can see my cursor. Get to basically the guy's, the stromling's right hand on the staff, or staff, depending on how you want me to pronounce that. I know I get told day to day getting that wrong a lot. You can stand sort of in the gap between his fingers. Yeah, that's what they are, definitely. In the gap of his view, there, and then you can make the jump to there. So you can make that jump from being along this path. The only issue is that without building that, so if you build that, there are two then ways you can really go from here. Assuming this is last. So I think I'm basically just trying to narrow down a set of possible routes that we can then time compare. And so if you do this, so we need to do the flag over there last. If we do this second to last, then from here we've got two options. We've got running along this guy's arm, from there jumping to here, there, here, and sorry, running along this guy's arm, jumping onto the cow. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Then running along this ledge and like taking a running jump from, I think it's pretty much here, and landing there, running down, getting the last flag. Or the other option of starting here, running along to the sort of to the lower level, to the sort of more standard speedrun route, run along this spike ridge around and get to there. It's seeming, as I say it like that, it's going to be definitely a longer route. So I think this route's probably, maybe someone can test that for me, because it feels like this is like this route's going to be faster, but it might not be. And so okay, so that's if we're doing this second. If we are doing it in that order, then we need some way of getting from the very start of this to getting to the base of here. And there are a couple of routes for that. And so the question is then what happens if we do this last? If we do this, we've already gotten that flag. We have to get that flag and make our way down. Make our way down to the base of this elevator. Go up, go around. We finish that little section then at this position. We finish that section at this position, and then from there we need to get to the end. From there, it seems like the best route. I'm pretty certain because this used to be like a standard speedrunning. A standard speedrunning route when people were mucking around on doing speedruns on uni. So you can jump up there, from there you can jump down, run up here, run up onto the skeleton's chest, jump onto the arm, jump onto the cowl, and then do the running jump to finish. I think that's the fastest route. So if we do the sort of standalone heart flag first, then we need to get from the standalone heart flag to the elevator, go up the elevator, do all the standard stuff, getting the flag, get the imagination, break down the flag, down there, get the flag here. From there, jump along here, climb up on this guy's arm, make the running jump, etc. Etc. Yeah, and so okay, so I may need to do some testing. I may need to talk to people who are better at speedrunning to help me do the testing. But this is probably the more standard way of getting to there. Run up, run along this arm, jump there. So I should probably check if you can make the jump from down there, which, because I'm recording, is, I guarantee, not going to. Called it. Could get that and get up and work back, but I can just. Well, here goes nothing. I'm trying to do parkour live. It's never goes well. Okay, we get here, and can we make it down? Come on. No, we can't. That changes things. If we can't make it from there, maybe it's just I'm being laggy, but if you can't make it from there, then it's almost definitely best to start with the elevator, because the elevator will get us we'll finish on that green platform. I'm pretty certain. Get us onto that green platform. I'm pretty certain you can get green platform. You then have to. Okay, so maybe it doesn't change things that much, because the green platform you'd have to jump down here to make use of. You'd still have to do this skeleton. The skeleton climbing trick. From there, you'd have to. Yeah, I think at this stage it might be better, rather than jumping onto this, to just do the quick build. Because if you've got to get up here, run all the way around, jump down onto this guy's arm, and jump from there. Anyway, I'm going to need to test some more of this and sort of talk it through. But I thought you might be vaguely interested in seeing me run around on a server which I appear to have crashed slightly. I can run /reset once I finish this video. Yeah, thought you may be interested in seeing this and watching me plan out the route. For those of you who are interested, because I know someone will ask me in the comments, this is LCDRU. You know that because it's up, and Deary spends most of its time not being so. Yeah, okay, I think that's about it for this, and I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to run some maths on these as well, just so I can work out, yeah, once and for all, what the best speedrun of the monument is. I quite like this change, I must say. I'm enjoying it. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to see you around. I've been Ninja About You. Standard message about the developer channels in the description. Like and subscribe to the developers, because they're the ones that make all these videos possible. Thanks. Bye.